Be fast in looking out for the signs of heart attacks and strokes. David Edge has a surreal experience. Save up for that summer travel and learn the latest about Medicare's news this week on 65 and Counting. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for another reading of the American Retirement Advisor newsletter. So as always, David Edge is coming back on the show to read you the July edition. I can't believe it's July already. Take it away, Mr. Edge.
Hi folks, welcome to the reading of the American Retirement Advisor newsletter. This will be for July 2021, and it's volume 21, issue 7. And on the front page, we always have our article by David P. Schaefer. Summertime, fun time. The heat has arrived. Houston, Las Vegas, Phoenix, it's just hot. Chicago, Los Angeles, and Seattle are seeing pleasant temperatures, but I'm not there. It's hot here. Do you know what else is hot? National parks continue to be a hot spot. So much so, rangers are turning folks away to abide by capacity limit requirements. And it's always a good time to get outside and enjoy nature. While I agree, I bet the 4th of July will be crazy in those open places. Speaking of open spaces, I tell you, it sure is great to forget about those masks in Arizona, Florida, Nevada, and Texas. The markets are still hot as well. S&P is moving along nicely. Have you looked at the cost of an American Silver Eagle coin? Hot. They are selling at prices so inflated, it's crazy. Note that spot silver's up, but the premium's up as much as tenfold. Folks are paying for U.S. minted coins. Hot. Oh yeah, inflation is fired up as well. Gasoline prices are up. Used automobile prices for certain cars are surging. That global semiconductor shortage impacted many automakers to slow or pause production, making new cars more scarce and used cars more popular. I'm not in the grocery store shopper in the family, but I know the cost of coffee is on its way back up to 2016 highs, up 100% since January of 2020. Economic ebbs and flows, it's just the way it goes. The last time we saw 12% interest rates in our checking accounts and 18% mortgage rates was a long, long time ago. The difference between now and then? Today, we seem to just add more money into the economy. Eventually, it must all catch up, but what for now? We watch and see. In the meantime, I'm going north for a weekend. See what it's like in the great state of Minnesota. Perhaps a cool 75 is by me, but perhaps a cool afternoon on a lake with partly cloudy skies and a cold one. Okay, David. All right, that was great. Okay, and on the front page, we have our other article by David Edge. Our Founding Fathers. When you hear the talking heads discussing this or that, I often wonder, what would the Founding Fathers think about some of the discussions? Would the motives for creating the Constitution still be the same if they were alive today? Would our Bill of Rights look the same if the government leaders who had the most significant impact on how we govern ourselves were still around? What would Washington, Lincoln, and other early past leaders think about the state of America today? Would they see it as a long overdue correction or the ongoing struggle of a people to govern themselves? In conversations with folks, I am always amazed how most people are clueless about our Bill of Rights and what they are. Most recognize the fundamental protections of the right to bear arms, freedom of speech, and religion, but aside from these, most people are a tad fuzzy. But the first 10 amendments to the Constitution called the Bill of Rights are 1. Freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. 2. The right to keep and bear arms. 3. No quartering of soldiers. This was a hot point due to the British abuse during the Revolutionary War, where British soldiers could just come into your house and you had to take care of them and feed them. So that was a pretty good one, I imagine. Okay, number 4, freedom from unreasonable search and seizure. 5, the right to due process of law, freedom from self-incrimination and double jeopardy. 6, the right of the accused person to a speedy and public trial. 7, right of trial by jury in civil cases. 8, freedom from excessive bail, cruel and unusual punishment. 9, other rights of the people. And 10, powers reserved to the states. Madison argued that a Declaration of Rights would help install the judiciary as guardians of the individuals. Over more than 200 years, we have seen the list grow to 27 amended rights. Time and government interpretations can muddy the original intent. Do you think our founding fathers meant for Congress members to make a career out of their positions? In this day and age, maybe consideration should be given to creating Bill number 28, term limits for all political leaders, to get back to the good of the entire population. Everybody benefits from fresh perspective. Just a thought. On this holiday every year, I am especially reminded and thankful for our courageous armed services men and women dedicating to securing our freedom, keeping us safe, and that, my friends, is indeed a happy 4th of July. Okay, we have Sharon Groves' article this month, Heart Attacks and Stroke Awareness, by Sharon Groves. The American Heart Association has designated February as American Heart Month and May as American Stroke Month. Since I missed speaking on these important issues at those times, I will revisit these important awareness facts. BEFAST, B-E-F-A-S-T. This is the life-saving acronym regarding possible strokes. B is for balance. Sudden loss of balance or leaning to one side when walking. Even a simple stumble can be suspect. E is for eyes. Sudden loss of vision in one or both eyes. Blinking does not clear the vision. F is for face. Ask the person to smile or stick out their tongue. Is the smile uneven, side drooping, or is the tongue deviated to one side? A is for arms. Ask the person to raise both arms. Does one arm drift downward or unable to raise up or uncoordinated or numbness? S is for speech. Difficulty, slurred, or inability to speak. Ask the person to repeat a simple phrase. T is for time. Immediately call 911. Do not drive to the emergency room. The emergency medical team can begin treatment prior to arrival at the ER. Always have a list of current meds available for the EMT. There is no time to waste. This is not a wait-and-see scenario. Strokes must be treated as a true medical emergency. The timely administration of clot-busting drugs has saved many lives. Warning signs of heart attacks: chest pain, pressure, tightness, squeezing or burning, mostly in the center of the chest. These symptoms last several minutes. This pain can also radiate to the left and right arms, neck, jaw, or back. It can be accompanied by other signs, such as difficulty breathing, a cold sweat, or sudden nausea. A person may feel weak, lightheaded, or actually faint. The American Journal of Medical Epidemiology found that people who drink 5 or more glasses every day have a much lower risk of fatal coronary heart disease compared to people who drink less than 2 glasses a day. They're talking about water. They also found it's even more important to drink water before bed because it levels out blood in your body to prevent heart attacks. Water also improves blood circulation and provides sustenance at night when the body is healing and re-energizing. Things to do if you suspect occurrence of a heart attack: call 911. Chew or swallow an aspirin unless you are allergic to aspirin. Take nitroglycerin if it's been prescribed by your doctor, and begin CPR if the person is unconscious. Well, thank you, Sharon. Those are some great shortcuts and some guidelines. So that's great. Okay, our next article is Why Am I Me? By David Edge. Science fiction or strange experience? As we have lived our lives and crossed pathways with numerous people and places, we've all had a strange experience or two along the way. How you reacted, who you were with, and where it happened makes you, you. When we all think about these experiences, you must wonder, was it a déjà vu moment? An incident that you've had this encounter with someone before? Or it seemed that you had been someplace before? Or maybe it was something else that was just a weird occurrence or otherworldly ghost? Or could it have simply just been your imagination? As a 10-year-old growing up in the late 50s and 60s, everything was about atomics. Atom bombs, drills at school. Yeah, right, like hiding under your desk was going to protect you from an atom bomb explosion. And of course, the increase in Hollywood movies and TV programs dealing with science fiction. You might remember movies such as The Blob, Them, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Forbidden Planet, Earth versus Flying Saucers, and of course, War of the Worlds. And if you really liked science fiction as a kid, you were reading Robert Heinlein's books, such as Red Planet, Starship Trooper, Have Spacesuit Will Travel, or Space Cadet. With those references in mind, I had one of my own experiences. As our family was coming home from church one night, it was dark and moonless. We lived in the country, so there were no city-like pollution or glow. It was just plain old dark. I'd been reading one of the aforementioned science fiction books earlier in the day, and of course my 10-year-old active imagination was primed. As I got out of the car and looked up at the night sky, I noticed blinking lights and exclaimed to my brothers, "Oh my God, spaceships, look!" My older brother brought me back to reality with a simple, "David, it's lightning bugs." Naturally, we all had a good laugh, albeit at my expense. So what was your strange experience? I bet you can recall without much prompting. I've had several during my years. You'll remember who was with you, where it happened, and all the details. And that personal experience is what makes you, you. Okay, we have our financial tip this month by Mark Fry. Okay, it's been so long since most folks have traveled. Now, I don't mean to go visit the kids or your parents. That's important. But I'm talking about just getting away, a real vacation. I know my wife and I are getting out of the heat for a week and going to Colorado for some cool air. So how does a travel article wind up in the financial tip article, you ask? Well, the question is, can your retirement income plan handle the travel? Fuel prices are getting really high. Rental car prices are absolutely insane. Honestly, have you seen rental car prices? There are some ways to get some real discounts to help. You probably know the usual suspects: AAA, Costco, Sam's Club, AARP, and AMAC. Points from your credit card, that's a big one for me. My Southwest Airlines card through Chase Bank racks up the points quite nicely. I even have a companion pass so my wife flies free with me. You just must use the card for everything. Don't forget to join the hotel's loyalty program before you book your stay. Most hotels have better rates and extra perks for reward members. Also, check travel routes when you fly. I flew one of my sons from Burbank to Tampa, but it was only about half the price if I added a stop in Las Vegas, so I saved about $350. Now, with all that being said, you will still need to determine what your retirement nest egg can handle. If you like to travel and are able, you should build it into your retirement income plan. Well, what's that? You don't have a retirement income plan? Well, you're in luck. We specialize in retirement income planning. Our advisors would be happy to have a consultative meeting to build you your own plan, tailored to your wants and needs so that you don't have to worry. Of course, there's never a charge. Call us. We can help. Okay, our next article is by Laura Lee Drummond, Medicare at Work, Making Medicare Guidance and Transition 1, 2, 3 Easy at Work. What's the first thing that comes to mind for you when someone mentions July? Fireworks, picnics, barbecues? Do you recall any unique ways you celebrated this holiday as a kid? One of my memories is about a primitive-looking iron toy cannon my dad procured from somewhere that would pop a tiny gas blast from a harmless calcium carbide. My dad loved tinkering with science-type gadgets, radios, model building, and repairing stuff. He would excitingly bring the cannon out every single year. In my recollection, that cannon was perhaps all of 8 inches long. Dad had a tube of powder that he would dispense into a plastic lid. A plunger with a tiny scoop attached was unscrewed from the cannon, and a drop of water was added to the cannon opening. Then we would scoop out a bit of the powder and screw the plunger back in so that the powder would drop into the water and sizzle. You would pull back on the plunger, the gas created from the carbide and water would fill the cannon chamber, and when you released the piston, it would make a spark discharging a loud pop. One pop. Then you would go through the whole process again. One pop. Over and over. We still smile and laughed about it. I thought it was the coolest to create a loud firecracker pop from a cannon, but the smile it brought to my dad's face, a priceless, forever memory. Dad would have been 97 this year, and I'm glad I can still savor the memory. So have a safe and happy 4th. We're all about finding solutions for confident and successful Medicare planning. We are here to help guide employees and employers in clearing the confusion of Medicare. Try Laura at clicktma.com. medicare-eez.com. Okay, Laura, thank you so much. Okay, our next article is The Medicare Moment by Tammy Simler. COVID-19 funeral assistance and a higher child tax credit. More free money. In April, FEMA began providing financial assistance for funeral expenses for deaths that occurred after January 2020, where the death certificate lists COVID as a contributing factor. Under the COVID-19 relief bill, the assistance is limited to $9,000 per person, regardless of whether the deceased was a legal U.S. resident or not. However, the death must have occurred in the U.S. or its territories, and the person submitting the application must be a legal U.S. resident. The applicant will also have to provide an official death certificate, funeral expense documents, and proof of funds received from other sources like life insurance, etc. FEMA funeral assistance cannot duplicate funds received from other sources. To get an application to apply for assistance, call 1-844-684-6333. Starting July 15th, parents or grandparents with legal custody of children under 18 may start receiving an advanced child tax credit. In 2020, many parents received $2,000 per child at tax time in the form of a child tax credit. However, in 2021, this amount has been raised up to $3,600 per child ages 5 and under and $3,000 per child ages 6 through 17. Parents will receive half in monthly installments from July through December and the other half when they file their taxes. This equates to $300 per month for children 6 and under and $250 per month for children 6 through 17. Parents of children aged 18 or ages 19 through 24 attending college will receive a $500 lump sum payment. As with the tax credits in previous years, the amount parents receive is income dependent. If the parent's adjusted gross income is $75,000 or less as a single filer and $112,500 as head of household, or $150,000 filing jointly, they will get the full amount. If their income is higher than the limit for their filing status, the child tax credit payments will begin to phase out by $50 for every $1,000 of income over the threshold. Parents do have the option of declining the advance payments and taking the entire amount when they file their taxes in 2022. With unemployment assistance, additional pandemic unemployment, stimulus checks, free Medicaid health insurance, and now this additional tax credit, there is no incentive for parents to go back to work. All over the country, help wanted signs abound. Community pools in many areas cannot even open because they cannot find lifeguards. And let's not even mention the fact that the U.S. is now $28 trillion in debt, up about $5 trillion from January of 2020. If you were under age 65 and covered by a Affordable Care Act plan, aka Obamacare, you may be eligible for a premium subsidy even if you weren't before, or you may be eligible to have your subsidy amounts increase, thereby lowering your premiums under the Animal Rescue Plan Act of 2021. You can even change plans through August 15th if you would like. To find out if you qualify for subsidy on your existing plan or to see if you have your subsidy increased, call healthcare.gov at 1-800-318-2596 or check the new income limits here at www.healthcare.gov/lower-cost/. Great article, Tammy. There's lots of good information in there. And folks, remember, all this information is online at our website, or you just call the office and we'll be happy to send you a copy of the newsletter. Okay, our final article is Success Story of the Month by David Edge. Switch F to G. Gloria called our office recently. She seemed to be quite frustrated, having just received another increase in the monthly premium for her Medicare supplement, or Medigap, Plan F. She just celebrated her birthday and turned 71. Now her premium had gone up quite a bit. I emphatically took Gloria's call and let her vent a bit, as no one likes to get an increase in premiums. When I was 65 and enrolled for the first time, my premium was only $120, she exclaimed. Now, just 6 years later, the premium is almost doubled, she cried. My reply was simply, how can we help? In a nutshell, she just wanted to know what her options were. Well, there are a few options, I began. You can always switch to a Medicare Advantage plan during the annual election period, October 15th to December 7th. The new plan would start January 1 of the new year. And good news, many doctors are on multiple plans. But those are the network plans, and I want the freedom to go where I want with no copays, she said. The other option I offered was to switch supplement plans. Gloria could go from Plan F to Plan G. Curious, she asked for the details on making that type of change. Healthy individuals who can answer the medical underwriting questions can switch their Medicare supplement, Medigap, to any month of the year. By switching from Plan F to Plan G, you could significantly reduce your monthly premium, I calmly explained. The only difference in F and G is that F pays the Part B $203 deductible, and with Plan G, you pay the once a year Part B $203 deductible. That's for 2021. Other than that, the plans are identical. So you would be saving even after paying the small deductible. Do I have to take a physical, she asked. No, we asked the questions from the applications, I replied. If you can answer no to each of the questions, you can probably switch. Now, applications are subject to full underwriting, but it's that simple. Some carriers don't even require the underwriting if you keep your policy with that insurance carrier and are just switching plans from F to G. I'm so glad I called, she exclaimed. So if you have a Plan F, it pays to shop. Thanks for listening, folks. We hope you enjoyed this month's newsletter, and we look forward to your input. Please call us at any given time. Our customer care staff is on duty and happy to help you. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your month, and a happy 4th of July.
Wow, great stuff as always. Thanks, David. And thank you for tuning in this week. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our page so you get notified when we put out new videos, and share it with all your friends. But most importantly, have a great week.